Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today in this video I would like to continue my previous video entitled China's Maritime Dispute 1895 until 2020. February 1992, China passes law on the Territorial Sea. A map of Bohai Bay, drawn during the Tsai Dynasty. Creative Commons. China passes the law on the Territorial Sea and the contiguous zone, which lays claim to the entire South China Sea based on the historical right to the area dating from the Tsai Dynasty, which ruled between the 21st and 16th centuries or BCE. The law employs more generous methods of territorial determination that would not necessarily be recognized and justified by UNCLOS, signed a decade earlier. The move is seen by some as a bid by China to obtain greater maritime security for itself, as Beijing was one of the most active countries at UNCLOS in attempting to obstruct the United States and the Soviet Union's effort to secure freedom of navigation for warship. 1996. On April 3 Chinese naval vessels fight a 90-minute battle with a Philippine Navy gunboat near Capon's Island in the Mischief Reef, part of the Spratly chain of islands claimed by Manila. The incident marks the first time China engaged in military confrontation with ASEAN member of other than relations revives US-Philippine military ties. Soon after the incident, U.S. Navy SEALs conduct a joint exercise with their Philippine counterparts on Palawan Islands. Although Philippines President Fidel Ramos denies that this is connected to Manila's role with Beijing. Tensions over the occupations subside by mid-year when the Philippines and China signed a non-binding code of conduct that calls for peaceful resolutions of the territorial dispute and the promotions of confidence-building measures. January 1998, China-US military agreement. Former China and the United States signed the Military Maritime Consultative Agreement, the first bilateral military agreement between the two countries, which serves as a confidence-building measure after a period of frozen relations following the 1989 Tiananmen Square protests. From the mid to late 1990s, the Clinton administration works toward security engagement with Beijing as China's People Liberation Army Navy plan begins to shift from being a mostly coastal defense force to operating a blue water fleet beyond China's territorial waters. The accords aims to promote defense dialogue between naval forces to prevent misunderstandings. However, its efficacy is questioned in April 2001 when the Chinese F-8 interceptor and the U.S. Navy surveillance aircraft collided over the South China Sea, killing a Chinese pilot. 2002, November 2002. ASEAN and China Code of Conduct. Leaders from Southeast Asian nations and their dialogue partner ahead of the ASEAN meeting, November 4. China and the 10 ASEAN states reached an agreement in Phnom Penh on the ASEAN-China Declaration on the Conduct of Parties in the South China Sea, a code of conduct that seeks to ease tensions and creates guidelines to conflict resolution. The agreement comes after 6 years of negotiations. Beijing had previously insisted on bilateral negotiations with claimant China's signing marks with the first time it accepted a multilateral approach to the issue. Through the declarations fall short of a binding code of conduct, as the Philippines had sought it signals China's recognition that such an agreement could work in its favor by limiting the risk of conflict in the area, which could involve the United States in the dispute. 2008. Former Chinese Foreign Ministry Director of the ASEAN Affairs Department, Hu Zhengyu, shakes hands with the Kenichiro Sasei, former head of the Foreign Ministry ASEAN Affairs Bureau in 2007. After years of dispute over case field in the East China Sea, Japan and China signed a joint energy development agreement that includes the potentially gas-rich Sunxiao Shirabaka field. The two countries agreed to explore 4 fields jointly, halt development in contested waters, and collaborate on joint surveys and investment. While the accord is highlighted as a major step forward maritime cooperation on energy resources, a strategic priority for both countries, China soon begins to develop the Tianhuatian or Kashi field unilaterally in 2009, steering protests from Japan. A year later, Japan threatens to bring China to the International Tribunal for the Law of the Sea if China begins introducing from the Sunxiao Shirabaka field. Despite the milestone agreement, little has been done since then to increase joint resource development. 2009, May 2009. Malaysia and Vietnam filed a joint submission to the UN Commission on the Limits of the Continental Shelf to extend their continental shelves beyond the standard 200 nautical miles from their coastline, renewing frictions over maritime sovereignty in the South China Sea. China views this as a challenge to its territorial claims and objects to the submission, saying it has seriously infringed and China in dispute sovereignty over the island in the South China Sea. Vietnam's claims are viewed as part of a campaign to bring the South China Sea issue to an international forum, beginning with a conference held in November 2009 in Hanoi. 2010, July 2010, China becomes world's biggest energy consumer. The International Energy Agency reported that China has surpassed the United States as the largest consumer of energy worldwide, consuming roughly 2.3 billion tons of total energy in 2009, approximately 4% more than the United States. China also becomes the second largest consumer and net importer of oil, heightening the strategic importance of trade routes in the East and South China Seas for tanker shipment. The United States had been the world's largest energy consumer since the early 1990s. So the time is up and the article will be continued to the next video. So bye bye and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye!